All right, so welcome to Module 8, step-by-step guide to writing opinion or agree or disagree essays. So when I speak about opinion essays or agree or disagree essays, they're exactly the same thing. And in these modules 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we're going to take the 5 different types of IELTS Writing Class 2 question and go through them in detail step by step. So in this module, we're going to look at what an opinion essay actually is. We're going to look at common mistakes, give you a Band 9 checklist, show you how you can quickly decide your opinion, and then give you that all-important structure that you can use for any opinion essay. We're going to look in detail at how to plan our opinion essays, how to generate ideas, how to write introductions, main body paragraphs, conclusions, and we're also going to look at vocabulary a little bit. Remember that the idea generation, introduction, planning, supporting paragraphs, conclusion, this is all just for opinion essays. So in the previous modules, we looked at the marking criteria, how to think like an examiner. We looked at how to plan our essays and the importance of planning, how to write introductions, supporting paragraphs, and conclusions. Now we are going to apply this specifically to opinion or agree or disagree essays. So you must understand these things and have fully understood these modules before doing this module. If you skip through anything, go back and make sure that you've completed everything. Okay, so what is an opinion essay? So there are two main types of opinion essay that you'll see. Here's the first type. In many countries, it is now illegal to advertise alcohol, and it will say, do you agree or disagree? Occasionally it says, do you agree, question mark, and that means exactly the same thing as do you agree or disagree. Sometimes you will get the question asked in this way: to what extent do you agree or disagree? So we need to understand what the difference is between these two. And for our purposes, there is only one key difference. And that means that everything else is the same. The structure is the same, how we generate ideas is the same. Everything is the same for do you agree or disagree, or to what extent do you disagree, apart from one key thing. And the key thing is, for the second type, to what extent do you agree or disagree, you should always say strongly agree or strongly disagree, because they want to know what extent you agree or disagree. So for do you agree or disagree, it's fine to say I agree or I disagree, or this essay agrees or this essay disagrees. For this to what extent, you should say I strongly agree or I strongly disagree, or this essay strongly agrees or this essay strongly disagrees. And that's the only difference, okay? Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. That's all you need to know about the difference between those two. So let's have a look at some common mistakes that we see that stop students getting a 7 or above. A lot of students simply do not give their opinion. Their opinion is not clear throughout the essay. It is impossible for an examiner to give you a 7 or above for an opinion essay if your opinion is not very, very clear. What students often do is they will leave their opinion until the very, very end. So they will write a very vague introduction, and they will discuss many things in the main body paragraph, and then they will clearly state their opinion right at the end in the conclusion. Remember that your opinion needs to be clear throughout the essay, so do not leave it until the conclusion. A lot of other people fail this type of question because they spend the whole essay talking about some people agree with this and some other people disagree with this. That is discussing other people's opinions. You must state what you think, because that is what the question asks you. It says, do you agree or disagree? They do not want to hear about what other people think. And then similar to that, what a lot of people will say is, well, some people agree with this and other people disagree with this, and here's both sides of the argument. Again, that is not answering the question. The question is asking you, do you agree or disagree? So the simple way of satisfying that is just stating very clearly, I agree or I disagree. And this often comes from culture and educational background. In many cultures that I have taught in, it is not custom to give a very straight, direct answer. It is often a more indirect style where you will discuss all angles and all sides of an argument without taking a very strong, clear position. For agree or disagree essays, you need to take a very clear, strong position. So how do you get a Band 9? Give a clear opinion in the introduction. In the introduction, state exactly what your opinion is. Then think of 2 main points supporting your opinion, so 2 main ideas to support your opinion. Develop these points with explanations and examples, and then a short conclusion summarizing your main points and reiterating your opinion. If you do this, you're giving yourself a very, very good chance of getting one of the higher band scores. And it is very simple. In the introduction, say whether you agree or disagree. Think of 2 main ideas to support that position. Develop those main ideas with explanations and examples, and then make your opinion very clear again in the conclusion and state your main points again. Summarize your main points. This is the overall summary of what you need to do, but we'll look at it in a little bit more detail, of course, in this lesson. So, deciding opinion. A lot of students agonize about should I agree, should I disagree, and they waste a lot of time. You shouldn't waste too much time deciding your opinion because, to be honest, your opinion doesn't really matter. You can say I agree and get a Band 9, or you can say I disagree and get a Band 9. You can say I agree and get a Band 5, and you can say I disagree and get a Band 5. Your opinion is not really what matters, whether it's one way or the other. The important thing is that you have an opinion and that you fully develop that opinion. So don't waste too much time thinking, should I agree or disagree? And it's important to also understand that the examiner does not care about your personal opinion. So for many essays, I totally agree with the point of view, but in the essay, I will actually disagree with it. Why? Because it's much easier to write about the disagree point of view, and vice versa. Just pick one side and go with that side. And which side should you pick? Pick the side you can easily write about. That will probably be the side that you personally agree with because you know a lot more about that side. But even if you personally don't agree with that, just pick the side, agree or disagree, that you know most about and you feel most comfortable writing about. The side that you feel most comfortable writing about will be the side that you can generate 2 relevant ideas and you can develop those 2 ideas with explanations and examples. So here's an example question. Most high-level positions in companies are filled by men, even though the workforce in many developed countries is more than 50% female. Companies should be required to allocate a certain percentage of these positions to women. Do you agree? So the language that we can use to express our opinion is quite important. It is really important that we use this in the introduction to make it very clear to the examiner right from the get-go that we are giving our opinion. And again, I don't like giving memorized phrases or anything like that, but these are a few that you will see, and it doesn't matter which one you pick, and I wouldn't memorize all of them. I would just pick one that you feel comfortable using, and then use that one every time you are using or writing an answer to an opinion question. And that means that you're using the same method implemented in your preparation, and it will mean that it becomes a habit, and then it's easy for you to do that on test day. So I put in totally and completely in here because that means that whether it says do you agree or disagree, or to what extent do you agree or disagree, if you use completely, totally, that's absolutely fine for both of those questions. So I would just get used to using one of these and then just keep using it, and you'll be absolutely fine. So in your introduction, just use one of these. If you see me using a different one of these four, know that you can change that out and use one of these other ones if you wish. So before we get into the structure, I just want to remind everybody of a really important point. All structures are flexible and they're just a guide, and structures are not magic formulas for getting a band 9. Your grammar needs to be good, your vocabulary needs to be good, the ideas that you use with your structure, your explanations and your examples, your writing skill are all important. Structures are used as a tool. They are important, but they are not a guarantee of a band 9. They will really, really help you, but don't think that just memorizing these structures and rushing through everything and thinking, oh, I have a magic structure, guarantees me a band 9. That's not how it works. Make sure that you are doing all of the things correctly, not just following the structures. Okay, so the overall 4-paragraph structure is your introduction, where you're going to introduce your opinion. You're going to say, this is what my opinion is. Then you're going to take your first main idea, put it into your first main body paragraph, your second main idea into your second main body paragraph, and then you're going to summarize your main idea and your opinion in the conclusion. So let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail. So paragraph 1, introduction. First sentence, you're just going to paraphrase the question. Then you're going to put a full stop, and then you're going to have your opinion. So I totally agree, or this essay agrees, and outline your main points. Supporting paragraph 1, you're going to take your first main idea and you're going to put it into your topic sentence, explain why you believe that main idea answers the question, give an example to help you support that main idea, and then you can move on to the second supporting paragraph. You're going to use the exact same structure here for your second main idea. And then in your conclusion, you're going to summarize your opinion and your main ideas. So we're going to use this question to help us go through and teach you this structure. So this is our introduction. It is argued that corporations should be compelled to give a certain proportion of their executive level roles to females, given that over half of the workforce are women. So we paraphrase the question. This essay agrees with this statement. Clear opinion. Because women are capable of doing a job to the same level as a man, first main idea, and girls are currently outperforming boys on many university courses, second main idea. So paraphrase, opinion, first main idea, second main idea. Here's what a supporting paragraph looks like. So we've taken the second main idea, this is our second supporting paragraph. Don't worry, we'll show you what a full essay looks like at the end. This is just the start of the lesson, don't worry. Females are currently getting higher grades in most university courses. This is our topic sentence. So remember, we agree with this statement. This is our main idea, why we agree. Now we need to explain things. How well a man or woman does at university is normally the deciding factor in getting a top graduate job. So it is only fair that women should get more of these positions. Even previously male-dominated fields such as law and medicine now see women in the ascendancy, and they should therefore be rewarded with top roles. For example, females recently outperformed males for the first time in law in UK universities. So we've explained everything and then given our example. Now let's look at our conclusion. In conclusion, men should not be given the majority of high-level jobs in businesses because women can perform at the same level as men and also do better academically. So we've reiterated our opinion and summarized our two main ideas. So now we're going to take a different question and we're going to go through step by step and write it together step by step. So we're going to go through the planning, the introduction, the supporting paragraphs, the conclusion, and the vocabulary. In many countries, it is now illegal to advertise alcohol. Do you agree or disagree? So this is the question we're going to use. So let's plan this together. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to fully understand the question. All right, so we're going to look at the overall topic. What is the overall topic? Well, the overall topic is alcohol and the advertisement of alcohol. So we need to understand the topic words so that we don't just write everything we know about advertising alcohol. We need to look at the specific keywords. So in many countries, so not all countries, it is now illegal. So they are not allowed to do this. It is against the law to advertise alcohol, which is quite a strong step. And not many countries do this, but there are quite a few countries that do this. And we have to say whether we agree or disagree. So now that we have fully understood the question, we can move on to the next stage, which is deciding our opinion. So we need to decide whether we agree or disagree with this. So again, it doesn't really matter if we agree or disagree. It doesn't matter personally what we feel about this. What we are going to be thinking about is which side do I feel most comfortable writing about? Which side can I easily think of ideas and fully develop those main ideas? Well, I think that agree is actually easier to write about. So I'm going to pick that side. So the next step is idea generation. So we need to always go back to the question and think about the question. And I've picked agree, so I'm going to think about why do I agree? So I'm going to use the coffee shop method. There are many other methods that you can use for idea generation, but I'm going to just imagine I am sitting in a coffee shop and my friend says to me, do you think that it's okay for countries to make it illegal to ban the advertisement of alcohol? And I say, yeah, I think so. And he says, well, why is that? Why do you think that? So I'd say alcohol is a problem, both socially and for our health. So I'm thinking about why would a government make it illegal? Well, when you think about alcohol, it has problems socially. So you have people, being drunk in public and doing drunken things. And then you obviously have health problems. And then why would they really try and focus on advertising? Well, a lot of people are vulnerable because they're alcoholics, they're addicted to alcohol, and they really struggle day to day to control that addiction. And if they're just watching TV or watching a movie and they keep saying people really enjoying alcohol, it makes it very, very difficult for those people to cope with their addiction. So those would be the two main ideas that come into my head. And there are many other idea generation techniques that you could use. Coffee shop method works for me, so I'm going to use those. And then you don't always just have to think of two ideas. While you are thinking of them, another idea might pop into your head. So while I was doing this, I'd be like, well, it might mean that advertisers can influence people to drink alcohol, unfairly influence them. So if you can think of three ideas, you might not use three ideas, but it is better to have a few, and then you can decide, okay, which idea do I feel most comfortable writing about? And then we might think of a fourth idea. Young people are exposed to persuasive ads, so it's to protect young people. So when you are generating ideas, you might only be able to think of two, or the first two that you think of are very strong ideas that you're comfortable writing about, whereas other people feel more comfortable generating 3 or 4 ideas. And then what they're able to do is pick the ones that they feel most comfortable writing about. Okay, so let's put this into our plan. So the next stage is planning out our structure, taking our ideas and putting them into our structure. This is going to ensure that when we start writing, we know exactly what to write. This is a roadmap for our entire essay. So you don't have to write out, all of these. You could put intro, or you could put just P1 or P2 for paragraph 2, paragraph 1. You can use, abbreviated shorthand writing, TS for topic sentence, XP for explanation, EX for example, whatever makes it easier and faster for you. I'm obviously making it easy for you to read this, so I'm writing it out in longhand. So paragraph 1, introduction, paraphrase question, and I'm going to agree and outline my main points. Supporting paragraph 1, health and social problems. I might narrow that down when I start writing my essay a little bit more, but this is just a plan, so put in whatever you want into your plan. Explanations, addiction and bad behavior, and the example I'm going to use is a country that I know has banned some alcohol advertising, which was Russia, so I'm going to use that as an example. Supporting paragraph 2, topic sentence, influences people, it glamorizes it and influences young people, and I'm going to use a specific advert. So there's some adverts that I know I've seen before that make alcohol look very glamorous, so I'm going to mention a specific company here. Conclusion, I'm just going to summarize everything. So this is a little extra step. If you get very fast and you are very quick at doing your plans and you have a little bit more time left over, what you can do is you can take keywords from the question and you can think of some synonyms for those keywords, or different ways to say, and then you will have a list of different words that you can use in your essay. This is totally optional and is really more for very advanced students who can get everything done, all the planning, all the writing, all the checking done in well under the 40 minutes for task 2. It's totally optional, but it does help, especially with paraphrasing, using synonyms, your vocabulary. So here's an example of something that I put together for this. Okay, so going step by step through our essay, we're going to write our introduction now. So this is going to be 2 sentences. Doesn't always have to be 2 sentences, but in this example, it is. 90% of the time, it'll just be 2 sentences for an opinion essay. Paraphrase a sentence, and then give a clear opinion and outline our main points. So this is our paraphrase. Adverts for beer, wine, and spirits. So instead of alcohol, I have used examples of alcohol. The most common examples, beer, wine, and spirits, are now illegal, banned in many nations, many countries, many nations. So it means the same thing, and it is grammatically correct, and we have changed enough of the vocabulary. And we've copied that word. Copying just one word is not a big deal. I'm putting that in there to show you that if you have a choice between putting in a word that is maybe wrong and wasting a lot of time trying to think about that and getting very stressed, or just copying the word, copy the word. Remember the rule, vary your vocabulary as much as possible, but only as much as possible. Here's our full introduction. So we've paraphrased the sentence there. And then this essay agrees with this idea. So clear opinion, because first main idea, drinking can lead to serious health problems and advertisers can influence people to drink more than they should. Okay, so we've got all the key elements there. And as you can see, once you understand exactly what to do, you can apply this structure to any question. All right, it makes it really, really easy for you to see an opinion question and know exactly what to do. But the key there is to practice, send your work in, get it looked at, see that you're doing the right thing, learn from your mistakes, and do the same things again and again and again during your preparation, and then it'll become automatic on test day. Supporting paragraph 1. So our main idea is drinking can lead to serious health problems. You're always going back and thinking about it. You're always going back to the question. Okay, what is the question? Going back to the introduction. What is my main idea? Making sure that you don't get lost and everything is nice and cohesive. So why does drinking lead to serious health problems, or how does drinking lead to serious health problems? Well, drinking too much can cause liver damage. That's the main organ of the body that it affects. It affects many things in the body, but that would be the main one. You don't have to give doctor, PhD level analysis on alcohol's effect on the body. Of course, it affects the brain, it affects the kidneys, it affects your skin, it affects everything. You just have to give a very high level overview of what it does. All right, you don't have to be a liver expert or a doctor to answer these questions. And it can also cause problems to your health because you might get violent, or it might cause health problems for other people if you are violent and you assault people. An example, Russia had a problem with alcoholism and decided to ban advertising, and this resulted in a reduction of cases. So we're going to put all this together into our paragraph. Advertising alcoholic drinks should be banned because alcohol is harmful to a person's health. This is our topic sentence. Drinking too much causes several conditions including liver cancer, diabetes, and brain damage. So explaining why alcohol affects your health. This puts a huge strain on the health service and not only causes suffering to the patients but also to their families. And then we have an example. For example, Russia had a huge problem with alcoholism and many men were dying from alcohol-related diseases, but after they decided to stop companies promoting alcoholic beverages on TV and in print ads, it resulted in a huge reduction of such cases. Topic sentence, explain, example. Supporting paragraph number 2, it influences people to drink more. Advertisers' main goal is to sell. Adverts glamorize drinking. An example is a specific brand of brandy or cognac called Hennessy, and they are famous for having very glamorous ads and showing very attractive men and women having a great time drinking alcohol, and this would influence people. And you don't have to write this again. This is just me showing you how I would think about everything. So I would be going back to my plan and I would be looking at the plan and I would be thinking through everything before I start writing. It's like, okay, I need to write about this and then explain it in this way, and I've got this example, and then I can start writing, and this is what I would produce. So our topic sentence, another reason why the promotion of alcohol should be prohibited is the fact that it influences people unfairly to buy that product. The main goal of any advertising campaign is to sell more, and this could be seen as irresponsible considering the harm drinking can do. Commercials often make certain drink brands look cool or sexy in order to sway potential customers and don't actually talk about the dangers. For example, Hennessy adverts often portray attractive men and women in a luxurious setting drinking cognac with a beautiful woman. So our conclusion? I would be thinking about my opinion. Okay, what was my opinion in the introduction? It was agree that it should be made illegal. What were my main points? Go back, look at the introduction. These were my 2 main points. And here's my conclusion. So I just look at my introduction and then I can write my conclusion. In conclusion, alcohol is a hazardous product and advertisers should not be allowed to try and convince people to drink it, and I therefore believe that more countries should ban the advertising of liquor. So in conclusion, alcohol is a hazardous product. Hazardous means harmful to people, harmful to your health. And advertisers should not be allowed to convince people, to influence them. Those are my 2 main points, and therefore I believe, this is my opinion, that more countries should ban the advertising of liquor. So we've got our opinion and we have our 2 main points. Be aware that the wording of opinion questions may vary. Here are 2 alternative ways to word opinion questions. Firstly, is this a positive or negative development? Secondly, to what extent is this a positive or negative development? Here's an example of this wording with a question. More and more people are now working remotely from home. Is this a positive or negative development? As you can see, this is a typical opinion question. It is asking what you think about people working from home. Do you think it is a positive thing or do you think it is a negative thing? That's it. It's exactly the same as other opinion questions. Here's a plan of the same question. As you can see, you still need to write 2 clear ideas to support your opinion. If you think it is a positive development that more people are working from home, then you can give 2 ideas to say why. One idea is that people experience less stress when they work from home, and another idea is that it has less impact on the environment. You then follow the same structure as any other opinion essay. As you can see here, in the introduction, you state your opinion. It is a positive development, and you outline both your ideas. Then you have 1 main body paragraph for 1 idea that includes a topic sentence stating the idea, an explanation of it, and then an example to support it. Then in the second main body paragraph, you have your second idea, again with a topic sentence, explanation, and an example. In the conclusion, you state your opinion again and summarize both ideas. However, what do you do if it says the word extent in the question? You treat it in the same way you would treat the word extent in any opinion question. So in this case, if we change the wording to more and more people are now working remotely from home, to what extent is this a positive or negative development? You simply answer by using a word like completely or totally in your introduction. This means you would write something like, this essay thinks this is a completely positive development because it means workers feel less stressed when they work from home and there is less impact on the environment. So now that we've completed our essay, we need to review it. Don't forget to review your essay. So many students are ready to get a band 7, but they don't check things in their essay after they write it, and that causes them to get a 6.5. It's so important to review our essay at the end. So make sure that you give a clear opinion in the introduction. So go back and check that you have given your opinion in the introduction, that you have thought of 2 main points supporting your opinion, and these are clear in your essay, that you've developed these main points with explanations and examples, a short conclusion summarizing your main points, and reiterating your opinion. So you should be doing this in 2 different ways. The first way that you should be doing this is during your preparation. So when you are practicing by yourself or before you submit your essay, you should be checking these things because this is going to really teach you and help you learn and become an independent student. And the second time you're going to use this and review your essay at the end is when you are checking your essay on exam day, on test day. Obviously, you're going to check grammar and vocabulary as well, and that goes without saying. So let's have a look at some of the vocabulary that we used. Beer, wine, and spirits, banned in many nations, often influence people to drink more, causes several conditions including liver cancer, diabetes, and brain damage, huge strain on the health service, massive reduction, main goal of any advertising campaign could be seen as irresponsible, to sway potential customers, luxurious setting, hazardous product, try and convince people. So we have no fancy vocabulary in here. We're not trying to use really long, complicated words. What we are doing is we are using topic-specific vocabulary to talk about alcohol, to talk about the health implications of drinking too much alcohol, about the illegality of advertising alcohol in some countries. You don't obviously have to use this exact vocabulary. It's just to give you an idea of the type of vocabulary that you could use in order to get a very high band score. And for most of you, you will be able to use this level of vocabulary in your essay already. You don't need to go and memorize a bunch of really high level complicated words. You just need to think of the current vocabulary that you have and how you can apply that to different scenarios by using topic specific vocabulary. So in this module, we looked at what an opinion essay is. We identified common mistakes, gave you a band 9 checklist. You learned how to quickly decide your opinion. We looked at the structure, and then we looked at how to plan our essay step by step, generate ideas, write our essay, and then we looked at some vocabulary. In the next module, we're going to look at how to write a discussion essay. There's a lot of information in this module. Don't worry if that is all new to you or some of it was confusing. If it is, don't worry, that is normal because you're learning something new for the first time. If you didn't get some things, feel free to go back, look at it again, listen to it again, make your own notes, think about it, and then you can move on to the next module. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next module.